ما أريد من هذا الشعب إلا أن يزيد في الحمد والشكر إلى الله عز وجل، ويزيد من محبة الوطن، ويزيد من العمل ومضاعفة العمل لما يسعى فيه من خير له وللدولة والأهل. هذا اللي أنا أدوره من الشعب، وربنا إن شاء الله يوفقنا جميعا على ما يحب ويرضى.
تقرب منازلها إلا محب زايد أسسها واليوث وراها داروا على الدانات 7 أبد. إلا دار زايد لا تقرب حماها، لا تقرب منازلها إلا محب زايد أسسها واليوث وراها داروا على الدانات 7 أبد. نحنا شعوب لها نفدى ثراها، نبذل الغالي لها دوم ونهب. نحنا شعوب لها نفدى ثراها، نبذل الغالي لها دوم ونهب. إلا دار زايد لا تقرب حماها، لا تقرب منازلها إلا محب زايد أسسها واليوث وراها داروا على الدانات 7 أبد.
First, I would like to thank the Almighty, and I would like to thank the vision of His Highness Sheikh Zayed Al Nahyan, his son, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and all the rulers of the Emirates for what they have done in creating this phenomenal opportunity for all of us.
لا تذكر الفزعات إلا طراها، مداتها بالعطايا هي تسد. وأم الشيوخ اللي الله رعاها ربت قلوب للوطن هم سند. ولا تذكر الفزعات إلا طراها، مداتها بالعطايا هي تسد. وابو خالد الذي أمن ذراها تحت رايته العز ومن وهب. وابو خالد الذي أمن ذراها ابو خالد تحت رايته العز ومن وهب. إلا دار زايد لا تقرب حماها، لا تقرب منازلها إلا محب زايد أسسها واليوث وراها على الدانات 7 أبد.
Welcome our dear audience in your favorite program Parallels of Union, which is highlight the most successful and powerful people in the United Arab Emirates. Today it's our honor to host Mr. Sanjiv Purushotham, the CEO and the founders of Bridge Solutions. How are you, Mr. Sanjiv?
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be with you, Horia. It's a great honor to be interviewed by the Pearls of the Union television. And I hope we have a wonderful conversation together.
Thank you. So in the beginning of our episode, Mr. Sanjiv, we would like to ask you to introduce yourself and give our audience a brief about your background as well as your experience.
Oh, that's a long story. I'm basically a mathematician. I did my mathematics as in my bachelor's level. And after that, I did a management degree. And I did that in India. And soon after that, I joined my working life. I moved to Singapore. And from there, I moved to the UAE. And I keep going back between Singapore and UAE. I've had more than 3 decades of working with some of the best financial services companies in the world. I'm honored to have worked for them. The first company that I worked for was American Express. And in the days that I joined American Express, it was it was three things. It was a financial services company, doing credit cards and traveler's checks. It was also a travel company, and it was also a bank. And I was one of the very lucky people to have worked in all three parts of American Express. And then I moved on to joining another fantastic company, MasterCard. When MasterCard became a publicly listed company on the New York Stock Exchange, I had the good fortune of joining the company at that stage. And thereafter, working with MasterCard, I came out of MasterCard. I started my own business for a short while, and then I went back to help MasterCard and Citibank roll out the Citibank's digital wallet across 17 markets around the world. That was back. I went back to Singapore. And then I came back to the UAE to very briefly spend some time with Kareem. And then I decided to go back to my own business, which is Bridge Solutions. And so now here I am, very, very happy with my journey. And I look back with a lot of sense of pride on what's happened so far.
The way of success has never been easy, Mr. Sanjiv. There is a lot of challenge as well as difficulties. So in your journey, what was the major challenge you faced and how you get over it?
Oh, interesting one. I think the most important thing to do is to acknowledge my family.
Yes.
Right? Because without family, one is nothing. Right? And I realized that when I was very young because I lost my father when I was 6 years old. I was the only child. My mother had to take care of me. And they say that next to God is your mother, right? So my mother brought me up and she looked after me as I went through my education. So I would say that I don't come from a very rich background. I come from a very ordinary background. And I learned the value of hard work. I also learned the value of being humble. And then I was fortunate to meet somebody in my life who had the same level of humility and the same attitude towards life, my good wife, Harveena. And we have a wonderful son, Arkash. We live here in Dubai together. We live as a family. We have traveled the world. We've lived in Singapore. We've lived in the UAE. And yeah, we're very, very fortunate. But challenges have been multiple. There have been multiple challenges. Challenges relating to moving countries, adapting to new cultures, learning new languages, eating new food, and also corporate life is very, very demanding, right? So it has demands on your personal life. It has demands on your family life. And so being able to balance that has been one of the challenges which I've been fortunate in being able to manage quite well. But those are some of the challenges that one faces. Yes.
As we speak about the difficult part in the journey, Mr. Sanjiv, we would like also to speak in the positive part, which is the supporters. In your story, as I see, your mothers would have the main roles of supporters, but who else was the biggest supporters to Mr. Sanjiv?
I've been very, very fortunate in, as I said, my family. My wife, Harveena, my son, Arkash, have been really, really important people for me. As I look back on my life, I think about 2 or 3, of my key mentors in my life. And one of them was my teacher, my Maulam, right? Brother D'Souza. Yeah. He was a monk. He taught me in school. He taught me to believe in myself, right? And he helped me to become what I am. I'd say that I owe a lot from an academic point of view, from a studies point of view, to Brother D'Souza. The other people who stand out in my life are 3 people that I can think of. My first boss, Mr. Raman Roy, who became the head of Spectramind, one of the largest companies in India, and the father of the outsourcing business in India. I think about Mr. D. Ramdas, who was my initial supervisor. I think about Mr. Ashutosh Agarwal, who gave me my first chance to go outside, and play on a bigger scale. I think about my supervisor, Mr. Anthony Lee in Singapore. I think about Mr. Ajay Banga, who is now the president of the World Bank. He had become the CEO of MasterCard when I joined, and an absolutely wonderful man who's always led from the front. I think about my other boss, who's also now the CEO of MasterCard, Mr. Michael Miebach. Very, very good leaders. So I've been very fortunate in working with some of the best and the brightest in the world. So I was lucky. I was very, very lucky.
So as you know that the financial sectors, it's very tough and stress in the market. So how you maintain to carve out a prestige name in spite of the highly competitive in financial sectors in UAE?
See, the most important thing in the financial services business is to not be distracted. You have to be focused on the customer, right? If the customer is satisfied, whether it is a big corporation or a single person, if the customer is satisfied, if the customer feels that you're bringing him the right product or her the right product, then you've won the battle, all right? And I'll talk about something which was very important for me. And one of the things that I did, and one of the reasons why I left one of the companies that I was in. Many years ago, in the banking industry, we have a sort of a tendency to lend money to people, right? That's the core of banking. We have to lend money to people. But sometimes it becomes that we lend without responsibility, meaning because we can lend, we lend, right? And that sometimes makes people who are not familiar with finances not realize the problems they're getting into. And at one point of time in my business, I realized that it is not worth it for me to keep going up the hierarchy, because at the end of the day, I have to answer to the Almighty, right? Yes. So I said, this is not what I want to do. I don't want to be in a position where I am pushing people into more and more financial difficulty just because they don't know. So that's not an area which I felt comfortable with. In fact, that's the reason why I decided to move very much into the financial inclusion space, into working in Africa, into working in the Middle East, and also in Egypt. And I've got a big story for Egypt also, which was really fantastic. But I think that whole story about getting into the financial inclusion space, making payments and banking accessible to everybody in a proper manner is something that became my passion.
If we will take you, Mr. Sanjiv, to the audience, we would like to know how was the foundations of the Bridge Solutions and what was the major visions behind this establishment.
Excellent. So when I came into Dubai, my first trip to Dubai was, when I was heading the product for MasterCard's remittances called MoneySend, and I had come in to Dubai to actually participate in a discussion around how we could use remittances, the MasterCard remittance product, to use it from the UAE and Saudi Arabia into markets like India, Philippines, Indonesia, and all of that. So that's when we came in. That's the first time I came in here. And during that time, I had a discussion with, there was a convention of the World Bank in Johannesburg around 2009, and I had gone there for the convention. And during that convention, the big topic that was discussed by the World Bank was, what is the new banking going to look like? And the one model that everybody was talking about was M-Pesa in Kenya, because it was mobile banking, it was meant for everybody. And the question was, in front of everybody was, here is a banking solution which is provided by a telecom company, not by a bank, right? And so the banks were trying to figure out what exactly should we do.
As we see, Mr. Sanjiv, that's Bridge Solutions. It's have a wide range of solutions in financial sectors. So could you please overview the service you have to our audience?
Sure. When I first started Bridge, it was more of an advisory company where we were advising banks, financial institutions about how to transform from manual or from business as usual into a more digital format. Later on, what we realized was that when we did that advice, and we've advised a number of companies, advised the India Post Payment Bank, which is the largest payment bank in the world. We advised, the largest exchange house in the UAE. We advised a bunch of really, really big players about the movement of money, including the big telecom companies in Pakistan and Egypt. All of them, we kind of provided a lot of the advice to them. But what we realized was that as we talked to them, they wanted us to not just give them the device, but also to build the technology for them. Now, we thought about it for a while and we sort of came to the conclusion, my partner and I, that it's probably better for us to not build the technology ourselves, but to find the technology from around the world and then bring that technology to the market, right? Because what we as business people and technologists knew, that technology was not the problem. Technology was easy to get. The problem was finding the right technology and bringing it to the right customer. So then, later on, more recently, I decided to move Bridge Solutions away from being an advisory company to being a company that actually brings in the technology and helps the banks and financial institutions with specific requirements that could help them to advance further.
Success has always been defined by a key milestone, Mr. Sanjiv. So, in your journey, what was the achievement you are totally proud of in Bridge Solutions?
Well, I don't know about Bridge Solutions as yet, because I think Bridge Solutions has I have many, many big aspirations for Bridge Solutions, but so I'm not going to talk about Bridge Solutions itself because till I'm really satisfied about it, okay? But I will talk about one thing, 2 awards that really make me feel proud and they define my life, okay? These 2 awards define the person in the sense that they reflect who I am. They're like a mirror to who I am. The first award was a very simple award. It is called the Great Performers Award. And it's given to an individual by American Express, by the president of American Express. It's given to an individual who demonstrates the highest level of focus on customer service, right? Who does something which is outstanding because he or she needs to make that customer happy. I was fortunate in being able to win that award at a global level. It was the proudest moment for me. I had done all the best education in the world. Everything was great. But being awarded, being recognized for helping a customer, right? That defined my entire business ethos. My entire ethics from that point onwards was always make the customer happy. And if your customer is happy, your business will prosper.
As we see, Mr. Sanjiv, you give a wide range of service in financial sectors. So how you maintain in this tough and very stressed markets to reach the highly recorded of the customer satisfactions?
Okay, but before I answer that question, I'm going to talk to you about the other defining recognition for me, okay? So the second defining moment for me was when I moved in within MasterCard into this world of mobile financial services, with my teams and colleagues in MasterCard, in Airtel, in Africa, and a couple of other companies, we built solutions, and Etisalat, in fact, also. We built solutions that really changed the way in which the mobile world saw financial services and mobile and telecom acting together. As a result of that, I won the Global GSMA Award, which is like the Oscars of the telecom world, 3 times in Barcelona. So that is my second most defining moment, when how to bring the telecom world and the banking world together and to be recognized for it at a global level. So these are 2 big things for me that defined my career, that making of digital financial services available to everybody. So how do you do it how do you compete and how do you provide customer satisfaction? I think there is a very important need to understand that when you approach customer service, you have to approach customer service from the point of view of not excellence. Excellence is not good enough. It has to be perfection.
As a founders of Bridge Solutions, so what is the long-term strategy you hope to achieve?
I believe, right? I believe that every single financial services opportunity needs to find the right technology. I'm going to just step back a bit to talk about what are the various areas that are happening. So when I started Bridge, right, and mobile phones revolutionized a number of things. They brought a computer into our hands. They made things possible which were never possible before. And I remember at that time, people said, oh, the technology is not going to get any better. But this is the best technology possible, right? And now we've got embedded finance, we've got artificial intelligence, we've got crypto, we've got quantum computing, and every day there's a new evolution to technology, there's a new evolution to finance. So asking me what is my ultimate vision for Bridge Solutions, whether it's me or whoever succeeds me in Bridge Solutions, I just want that Bridge Solutions is always ahead of the technology, is always anticipating the technology, is always knowing that when the change comes, we are able to serve our customers and give them the best possible solution for that time. Things will keep changing and we will keep changing. Solution for that time. Things will keep changing and we will keep changing. One of the key elements of the long-term strategy is the ability to use key innovation platforms like the one developed by the Monetary Authority of Singapore called the APEX platform. And that's a platform which I'm bringing to the market to enable what I talked about for the banks to be able, the financial institutions to be able to innovate, discover financial technology. So that's a key component of what I do as far as the long term is concerned.
UAE is defined as a global business hub. So this is country with its rules and regulations. How it's been supported to you to grow your own business, Mr. Sanjiv?
That's an excellent question, mainly because of a couple of things, right? The regulatory system in the UAE has evolved, has changed significantly,
yes,
right? Over the last 5 to 6 years, right? Today, UAE is one of the most progressive, if not the most progressive, regulatory ecosystem for financial services. There are a number of initiatives which are being brought forward by the Central Bank of the UAE. Initiatives which would probably not be easy to do in other markets. Initiatives relating to decentralized finance, or what people commonly call crypto. Regulations relating to stable coins, which is a form of decentralized finance. There are regulations relating to digital identification, regulations relating to open banking, which are amongst the most progressive in the world. There are a number of domains where the UAE is really bringing massive change. Now, the question is that change meant only for the UAE market? And if you talk to any of the people who are in charge of the banking system or the regulatory system in the UAE, you will realize that it's not about the UAE only. It's about making an ecosystem that is global in nature, that enables multiple participants from around the world to participate in a financial ecosystem that is progressive, that is well regulated, right? That follows the rules, but enables massive innovation, right? So I think that the UAE today is only at the start of a massive change in financial services at a global level. And it's interesting because the UAE has been inspired by the Monetary Authority of Singapore, which was the first regulator, in my opinion, that brought about this massive ability to collaborate across the ecosystems, across the financial ecosystem, across the digital ecosystem, and bring about solutions for the market. So I'm ever grateful to Singapore for actually starting this revolution in financial services, and which the UAE is also now embarking on in a big way.
As a successful businessman, how you define the success from your points?
Normally we associate business with money. Okay? I don't. I think of business as impact. Because the money will flow. If you have the right impact, the money will flow, right? So what change have I made today? What difference have I made today? How have I made somebody able to use their savings better, right? How have I been able to help somebody finance their new business? How have I been able to help somebody with identifying a new product or service that's relevant to them, right? So these are the things. Or how do I enable somebody to send money home, which is at a much better value than what they would get? So these are the things that make my business a success. And I realized that impact can be done either in one focused manner by focusing only on one thing, or like Bridge Solutions, to be on the crossroads, like the UAE, to be on the crossroads and enable the movement of technology and business models across borders. That's why, I think about Bridge Solutions. I think there's an Arabic word for it, al-jas. So for me, I'm the bridge. Bridge Solutions is a bridge, Al Jasra.
Last but never been least, we would like to ask you to deliver an advice for the new generation, especially who are freshly graduated and interested in the same fields. What would you like to tell them?
Okay, so I think the important thing for the new generation is to realize that nobody owes you a living, right? I think this is a sense that today, more than anything else, the ability for you to be able to do a business by yourself is like never before. Okay? You don't have to join a company like we did in our days. You can start a business. There are so many AI tools available, right? I'm not saying you don't join a company. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that think about the ability for you to start a company today, right? Think about what you can do, small or big. Think about all the tools that are available to you, all the things that are available to you that were not available 5 years, 10 years ago. The availability of capital, the availability of technology, the availability of artificial intelligence, and the availability of an ecosystem like the UAE, which encourages entrepreneurship. This is something which is not easily available anywhere else in the world. So use this opportunity that UAE is giving you to start your own businesses, to do the things for yourselves. And of course, join in a company, the good companies that are coming up in this country. Join them and be part of the success of this phenomenally growing economy.
Thank you too much for this inspiring and helpful advice, Mr. Sanjiv. And we concluded our episodes for today by a word from heart to heart to all the Highness and the UAE in charge to thank them for their efforts to make our life safe and easy. What would you like to tell them?
First, I would like to thank the Almighty, and I would like to thank the vision of His Highness Sheikh Zayed Al Nahyan, his son, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and all the rulers of the Emirates for what they have done in creating this phenomenal opportunity for all of us.
Thank you too much, Mr. Sanjiv, for this is a great interview and for your great hospitality as well. Thank you. Thank you, our dear audience, for keep watching. Please wait for us in next episodes. By next week, Pearls of Union. This is Horia Al Gildi. Goodbye.